the polls are saying as Decision Day approaches. I want to bring in Nik Nanos, of course, our pollster here. And in the last 24 hours, Nick, we've seen a pretty big endorsement for Trudeau from Barack Obama. So tell us how that might impact the polling.
Well, I'm not sure if it'll impact the polling, but it could have an impact on getting out the vote for the Liberals. Because the reality is that for many Canadians that were inclined to support the Liberals, they've been disappointed with the Prime Minister with things like the brown-face controversy. Having Barack Obama come out likely encourages those individuals to come out and vote. I'm not sure whether it actually changes people's minds.
Right. Let's talk about the latest election poll. What are you finding?
What we're finding is a dead heat between the Liberals and the Conservatives, and that if an election were held today, we're realistically looking at some sort of minority government, and the NDP back at around 19%.
Interesting. Look at those numbers. My goodness, it really is a horse race. And it hasn't changed much, really, since you started polling for this campaign.
Yeah, well, it's been a horse race at different levels. At the beginning of the campaign, both of the parties veered into 35, 36%, and hypothetically, they could have formed a majority government. But now, with both of the two front-running parties cycling down into the low 30s, it's statistically out of reach for both the Conservatives and the Liberals.
So we're hearing Andrew Scheer talk about he wants to form a government, and the party that has the most seats should get that opportunity, whether or not it's the ruling party, Justin Trudeau's party, or his. Is that a sign to you that perhaps their own internal polling is saying that he's likely to win a majority of the seats, but not a majority in government?
I think what Andrew Scheer is doing is setting the groundwork for Monday night and a potential uncertain outcome. And what he's saying basically is that regardless of the rules of the House of Commons in terms of who's invited, that there's whoever wins the greatest number of seats has the moral high ground.
Right.
That Canadians would expect that that party would have a chance to form a government, even if the rules suggest that Justin Trudeau, if he had the second greatest number of seats, would still have a chance if he could figure out some sort of working arrangement with the New Democrats and or the Greens.
Explain to Canadians, if you can, why it is the case. Why shouldn't the party that wins the most the night of the election be able to form government first?
Well, my understanding from the British parliamentary tradition is that when Parliament dissolves, the Prime Minister does have the confidence of the House. So Justin Trudeau, as the outgoing or last Prime Minister, had the confidence of the House. When it reconvenes after an election, usually if the Prime Minister has a chance to form a government, the convention has been that that person would be invited to try to form a government. That said, when you're way behind all the other parties in terms of the number of seats, the incumbent forgoes that privilege or right. And but if it's close, then you have a chance, like you were talking about with Michelle, New Brunswick and also in British Columbia, that outgoing politicians or losing politicians have a chance at least to try to form some type of working arrangement.
So we're really just going to have to wait till Monday night.
Probably very late Monday night. It'll be a late, exciting night.
Certainly will. Get the coffee ready. Good to have you in studio, Nick.
Thank you.